Good morning. Welcome to Well Traveled Life. We're at Eat, Stay and Play in York, England. In this video, we're going to give you a good sense of what to do with a short period of time in York. This is how to get the best of this amazing city in northern England. We're going to start your day early because York can get crowded. We're going to beat the crowds in the places where you don't want them, and we're going to join them in the places where they add to the entire vibe. Let's begin the day climbing the steps up to Clifford's tower. You'll get views of the city and beyond. This early in the morning, the tower won't be open, so you can't go inside, but you're here right now to see out beyond the tower. You'll get a sense of scale and direction and know where you're going for the rest of the day, so think of this as your morning preview. Immediately below you, you have the Castle Museum and the Carousel. Just to the other side is Fairfax House. Slightly beyond that is the Yorvik Viking Museum. Around the corner from there, you have the Shambles Market and the Shambles Street. You're very close to the Chocolate Story. The York Dungeon is also tucked into this area. And at the opposite end of these city walls, you have the York Minster and the Museum Gardens and St. Mary's Abbey. Our full day's worth of activities will take you to all of these places and a few more, and will include some fun restaurants and bars and places to stop and enjoy the best of what York has to offer. Most of our day will be spent walking, so wear good shoes, although we will have some stops that will give you a bit of a break. After the early start at Clifford's Tower, we're going to actually walk across town and get a good breakfast. I say walk, but be like Mother Shipton of nearby Knaresborough, accused of being a witch, who prophesied that the Archbishop of York, Cardinal Wolsey, would never actually make it to York. She was correct, and he was executed for high treason. And so for this segment, we'll travel by broom.
And we're about to have breakfast at Brownies and Brews.
We're brewing brownie.
Brew and Brownies. We tried to come here 2 years ago.
Last year.
Yeah,
and the lines were so long, and so we got here early today. We are the first in line, and we are looking for a little yummy breakfast.
Pro tip, if you get here and you cannot get in, the lines are too long, next door is Bailey's Cafe, and that is quite good as well.
Bailey's has a really great breakfast selection as well. But both of these are relatively small places, so they fill up kind of quickly. Right across the street is Museum Gardens and St. Mary's Abbey and the library. So if indeed you have to wait, make somebody stay here in line and somebody else gets to go and do some looking around. Brew and Brownie opens at 8:30 a.m. on weekdays and at 9 a.m. on weekends. It will stay open until 4:30 every day except Saturday, in which case it's open till 5. After breakfast, head on over to the Yorkshire Museum, Museum Gardens, and St. Mary's Abbey. It opens at 9 a.m. and closes at 6 p.m. every day of the week. If you're lucky, you may see a wedding. Often on weekends, you'll also get the opportunity to see Maverick, the Harris Hawk, who will do flying demonstrations, and there's a number of owls and other predator birds, and a falconer who is on site at the gardens. The Yorkshire Museum will take time to go through, and if you're trying to do as much as you can in a day, that's going to make it a little difficult. It would also be easy to bring a picnic blanket and just spend the afternoon at Museum Gardens. But let's keep our tour going, let's keep moving. And since we're already at Museum Gardens, we're just going to walk down the hill to the River Ouse, and we're going to take a river tour. There are lots of ways to get out on the water, but I think the point is, let's get you out onto the river. City cruises run 45-minute boat tours on the River Ouse. They'll have a live commentary by your captain. There are snacks and drinks available on board. You can sit inside the saloon or you can sit up top in the open air, just depending on the weather, what will be your preference. You'll get a bit of the history and a lay of the land from the river. I wouldn't say that this is our favorite tour, but this is a nice way to take a break from your feet and do a little bit of your sightseeing from a seated position. The first tour of the day will begin at 10:40 from the Lindell Bridge Landing. That is just below Museum Gardens. The cost is £14. You can book directly online, or there are a few seats that will be reserved at the time of sailing, and you can try to get one of those, but lines are long, and that's not a good bet on a summer's day. From where the boat lets you off at the Lendal Tower, we're now going to make our way the very short distance to the York Minster. We're going to pass through High Petergate because we'll be heading back there to walk the walls later. You'll want to walk all the way around the Minster to get all of the views from all of the angles and all of the sides. Officially, the York Minster is known as the Cathedral and Metropolitical Church of St. Peter in York. It's a huge Gothic cathedral. Took over 250 years to build, dating from 1220 all the way up to 1472. It is known for its stunning stained glass, including the largest expanse of medieval stained glass in the world in the Great East Window. It was created between 1405 and 1408 by John Thornton, meaning this is the oldest named artist piece of work in the country. It also features the Five Sisters window, dedicated to the women who died in World War I. These 5 windows, reaching 15 meters tall, are made of a grade glass, which is different than the stained glass in the rest of the Minster. It was rededicated in 1925 when 800 of the family members of the 115 women who were honored for their work during World War I came together to commemorate the unveiling of the newly refurbished window. The window was taken out and stored for safety during World War II, and when it was replaced, it was again commemorating the lives lost in both World War I and World War II by the women who helped the soldiers in those wars. The Central Tower, the highest point in York, offers breathtaking views from the top, if you're willing to make the 275 steps up to get there. If you would like to go inside the Minster, it's a £14 fee, or if you are going in to pray or attend a service, there's no fee at all. Before we leave the Minster, let's take just a moment to focus on the Roman history of this particular part of town.
The Roman Trail, which is going to take you by the main gate.
Booth and Bar is a large arched opening in the walls that will take you right into York Minster,
which is built on the foundation of the Principa, one of the major buildings within the Legionary Fort.
Stop by Constantine, the statue.
Constantine is kind of famous for bringing Christianity to much of the empire.
The statue stands at the south side of the Minster, and just across the plaza from it you will see the Roman column, a remnant of the fortress of Eboracum. It was found in 1969 underneath the Minster, and was replaced in 1971. It is believed to have been part of the Principia, the Roman headquarters that were originally in this site where the minster now stands. At this juncture, we're going to go ahead and leave the minster and head out up High Petergate. This is a very short walk to one of the main gates to the town. This will take us to the walls where we can walk up the stairs, but first let's take a little break at the Fat Badger where we're going to stop and have a drink in their beer garden. They have a really lovely patio seating outside right below the walls, and we're going to be walking those walls next, so that is a good stop for just a quick break. For our walk along the walls, we will start outside the city walls at the stairwell that takes you up. The walls are nearly but not quite contiguous around the city. We're starting our walk at Botham Booth, and we are going to go around just to Monk Bar. This is the most ornate gate and houses a museum exhibit about Richard III. A walk along the walls will take you through the ancient gates and along those walls that will give you a completely different perspective of the city. This isn't a long walk and probably won't take you more than about 15 minutes. At the end of our walk, we'll take a moment for some sweet indulgences. While you can find chocolatiers and chocolate shops throughout the city, York is known for its chocolate story. And that's more than just a building with a chocolate shop. There's actually a real chocolate story there. And the history of chocolate in York is profound, and you're probably familiar with some of the chocolate delicacies, whether it's the York peppermint patty, the chocolate orange, or some different kinds of fudge. York has your chocolate answers. You can either do a tour at the York Chocolate Story, or you can simply go in and do some shopping. Whatever you do, it's another one of those entertaining and delicious York activities. Hopefully, as you've been walking through the city, you have recognized the significant number of incredibly talented people performing on the streets: buskers, entertainers, tour guides. This is a city of people. This is a city of entertainers, whether it's the folks on the street that are giving you essentially free entertainment, or the tour guides where you'll pay to be entertained, or the museums that provide information in entertaining ways. This is a city that knows how to keep your attention. We'll now quickly make our way from the Monk's Gate down to another of the Roman sites, the Roman Baths. This is a museum that does require a entrance fee.
Behind us is another stop, though it's it's sort of modern looking bar with some limestone in the front, but below it is an old Roman bath, which we're about to check out. I think to do that, we might have to have a beer.
I think it requires you have a beer in order
So.
to see the ruins.
Looking forward to that.
You've now discovered some Roman history with the walls, the column, and the statue of Constantine. We're going to look at some Viking history, and our next stop is at Yorvik, the Viking experience. Plan for about an hour and a half, and you will want to make sure and get your tickets ahead of time online. This has a limited number of people that are allowed at any given tour time, and you must have tickets before you can go in. This is a museum experience, but involves a ride. Don't think Disneyland, but think really intriguing. They've used animatronics and storytelling in a stationary position. You'll stay seated, but the car that you're in will move throughout the museum and show you different aspects of life in the Viking times in York. When you finish the ride, you'll have time to explore the interactive museum. It has both displays and costumed staff that will tell you stories, show you artifacts, and be there to answer your questions. We're very close to another York favorite. We're going to go from Yorvik just over and around to the Shambles. How long you spend at the Shambles will depend on whether you want to stop in and shop, get a drink or something to eat, or if you're just going to walk down the street and take pictures. Originally a street of butcher shops, the street is purposely narrow to keep sunlight off of the hanging meat that would have been on display. The buildings are often built out over on top of the first floor to protect the display space below and to give them some additional living space and storage space above. But what this is going to come across to you as is just a higgledy-piggledy street of really old medieval buildings, one of the best preserved in the country. The Shambles is really a walk, but stop in as many shops as you can. We have a video that focuses just on the Shambles and shows you each of the shops on this street. But take a walk down, you can see it can be awfully crowded depending on the day, and the time of day will depend on how much traffic you've got on the Shambles. This is a pedestrian street only, so you won't be contending with cars or buses, but just people alone will be pretty congested.
A lot of crowds today. It's Friday afternoon. A lot of people here. Imagine this weekend it'll be even more crowded.
Yeah.
We're very close, so we're just going to tuck in around the corner and go to the Shambles Market. It runs daily and offers foods, gifts, trinkets, all kinds of things. This would be a great place to pick up a snack if it's that time of day for you. Otherwise, we have some restaurant suggestions. Betty's Tea Room is hugely popular and crowded. Make a booking. They stay open till 9 p.m. on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. The Everest Gurkha offered really good Nepalese food, and we have another Nepalese choice for you as well. The Yak and the Yeti have 2 locations. One's a coffee house and one's a cafe, both fab. And for tapas, wine, and sherry, Ambiente is a special place. But I hope you've saved your energy because you need to see what's on at the Barbican. We were able to get tickets to Michael Flatley's remake of Lord of the Dance. It was an incredible performance. Really exciting to see it in England, where Ireland is such a close neighbor. The remake included the same fabulous dancing, some new costumes and some new choreography, and even a small moment with Michael Flatley himself. In our day in York, we started at Clifford's Tower. We went up to have breakfast at Brew and Brownie, took a boat tour, went to the York Minster, went up to Bootham Bar and walked the walls all the way to Monkgate, came down, went to the Chocolate Story, the Roman Baths, Yorvik, up to the Shambles and the Shambles Market, and then all the way down to the Barbican. What a day it's been.